What is up, WestJett family? Welcome back to the second episode of Checking These Buttons today. Hope you guys enjoyed that first one. It was a damn bomb. If there's an update, you guys will definitely be the first to know. But for now, we got some more buttons that need to be checked. As always, chapter, sub button, all that good stuff down below. I really do appreciate you guys for taking the time to help this channel grow. It really does mean the world to me and my family. So without further ado, we got some hot ass buttons to check, so let's get them. Let's go. All right, now into the first set of Stop Killing Games, the incredible underdog story. We got an amazing update, buttons that need to be checked. You remember we talked about this story a few days ago, maybe even last week, where we had Accursed Farms running the movement of Stop Killing Games. I'll put it on the screen right now. You can see right here, just a summary saying once servers get shut down, they become completely unplayable. Stop Killing Games is a initiative aiming to require companies to allow players to play the game they purchased even after official support ends. If you're in the EU or the UK citizen, sign the petition, you see it here, and they only got by July 31st, so time is running out. And I believe they need at least 1 million signatures. By the last time we covered this, they had like 500,000, which is amazing, but it's still a lot of signatures that needed to be had. Even Accursed Farms was saying that I don't know if we're gonna get it. It looks dire at this point because there's other people, namely Pirate Software. This other dude, he was like a former dev and now content creator, streamer, all that, talking a lot of shit about the movement. You had who? You had who do we have? We had this right here. MoistCr1TiKaL, Philip DeFranco. I mean, you had a lot of the big content creators talking about this, and a lot of them were kind of aiming at Pirate Software, like, yo, this dude was talking mad ignorant about the whole movement. Anyway, there's an update that's crazy as hell. Philip DeFranco actually covered some of this, his link down below so you can check it out. Let's check out a clip.
Gamers pushing back against corporate greed and fighting for their rights. Right? And that massively viral Stop Killing Games movement, it might actually get enough signatures now, and funny enough, it seems likely to have gotten to that point because someone shit on it so hard. So we talked about this petition for legislation last week and how it would stop gaming companies from being able to just brick your games when they no longer want to service them. Right? It's about gamer, but really consumer rights. And at that time, the guy who actually started the whole petition, Accursed Farms over on YouTube, was pretty skeptical that it actually even had a chance. Because despite petitions in both the UK and EU being around for about a year, neither had nearly enough signatures. So much so that Accursed Farms was confident that the UK one definitely wasn't going to pass, and the EU one, that was a huge stretch since it had just over 500,000 of the 1 million signatures needed. Which is why I made a video criticizing Pirate Software, who's a figure he claimed was the main reason why people were so grossly misinformed about what the movement was. But what a massive turnaround we have seen since last Thursday. Because the UK petition has now officially passed its signature threshold, but I will say, if you're watching from the UK, if you want to, definitely go support it. I'm gonna make sure right at the upload that the proper links are in the description.
Okay, so the UK only needed 100,000 and the EU needed 1 million? Damn.
Because a small percentage of those can be tossed out due to clerical mistakes, like someone misspelling their name and such. And then, as far as the EU version, that's well on its way, as we can see in a video from MoistCr1TiKaL yesterday, where he showed that the EU initiative was now over 750,000 signatures. And
okay, so check that out. Last time we covered it, it had over 500,000, just a little. Now it has over 700,000, but check that out. That's not even it, because I looked at it again just today. Hold on right here. Bam. Over 900,000. Let me refresh. 902. What else you got? Let me see. Okay, now it's 0. Shit, we got to start over. All right, 908. There it is. It is growing 90%, y'all. The damn hope is alive. Anyway, let's continue.
Still at a month to go. Which, I mean, that bump, that's insane. 200,000 signatures in a week. That's massive. And now, as I'm recording this video for you, it's at around 840,000 signatures. Right, and in that video, Moist, who, if you're not familiar with, he has a way with words, he once again supported the initiative and described it like this.
Again, to boil it down to its bare butt cheeks here, I'll go ahead and saute the mission. You should not have to worry about something you bought being destroyed and inaccessible after you've paid money to own it.
From then, claiming that the Stop Killing Games initiative has, quote, become more popular than Labubu. The main praise that he had was for Ross, right, the guy behind Accursed Farms, and there he said,
all of it made possible thanks to the tireless effort from Ross. He's spent countless hours on this initiative and doing everything in his power to make it a reality, to try and actually lead to positive change in an industry he very clearly cares deeply about.
Also, I gotta stress, like, it wasn't just any one single personality that pushed this movement. You also had big YouTube OGs like Jacksepticeye hyping it up and making a post on YouTube. You then had PewDiePie getting into the mix, Asmongold also reacting to all the coverage and tweeting out 10 months and over 800,000 signatures later, the Stop Killing Games initiative is almost across the finish line of 1 million. If you're from the EU and care about game preservation and consumer rights, consider signing this petition. Right? And there was also another interesting aspect here is you saw a lot of people, even more than what I'm talking about here, who probably don't agree on a lot of things. You had so many people coming together on this specific thing. You know, regarding this push from so many different creators, and in fact, creators who they themselves cannot join the petition. That has not been lost, right? You had Cursed Farms being extremely grateful for the coverage that he's seen and commenting things like, I appreciate the coverage. I think it's kind of crazy that it even takes Avengers level pushback to just not get robbed in the first place, but whatever gets us to the finish line. But that is, he's also not counting this as a victory yet with him commenting on Moist's video. I think this is probably more suspenseful to me than to a lot of other supporters since I've seen the momentum collapse once already. Anyway, it's currently in a great spot, but don't assume the momentum will hold. We need to keep finding people in the EU to sign this. If we do it though, not only would we get to keep our games, it's still insane we have to do all this, but this would give bragging rights to gamers for life of pushing back against, quote, you will own nothing and be happy more effectively than maybe anywhere else. Which also, you know, I want to note that last bit, it does tie into a much wider movement that we've seen across tech and just products in general. But I mean, you've had creators like Linus Tech Tips, for example, having long complained that many companies, they're moving to this model where you do not actually own a product and instead you're just licensing it in perpetuity. And so that, you know, it lets companies cut off access essentially whenever they want. So, you know, it's hoped that once a region as big and populous as the EU actually takes up legislation targeting this practice, it'll just become the de facto understanding around the world rather than companies having to deal with a patchwork of laws. Which, to speak on, I mean, just to be clear, even if these petitions pass, it's not over. They are the start to the legislative process, and it'll likely be years before we see any laws passed. You know, that's all change. There's a little bit, and then all at once.
All right, so there you have it. Philip DeFranco, link down below. Definitely check out the rest of the thing. What amazing progress. At one point, even he was doubtful, like, I don't think we're going to reach it. He was even down on himself, like, maybe I should have pushed it harder, like shit. And then bam. All of a sudden, it's almost like everybody saw what Pirate Software was doing and united, like, what a douche. Like, I can't believe he's just purposely just aiming at this, trying to stop it for whatever damn motive he has. And like, yo, fuck this dude, let's band together, here we go, look at the numbers rise up. But even like he was saying, it's not over yet. Got to keep that momentum up. So if you happen to live out there, I got a few viewers. Most of my demographic I think is in the States, but we definitely got some out there. So if you happen to be out there, link down below, show the support. How y'all feeling? Let me know. All right, now into them updated buttons for Ludwig and Mango. Apparently it just got worse. Buttons that need to be checked. We talked about this one as well. It already looked bad enough. You already know Mango got drunk at Ludwig's event. He was humping women. They, of course, did not want, they didn't appreciate the humps, and he got hit with sexual harassment. Ludwig came out, said he's no longer able to come to my events. I gotta ban him. He's still my boy, but I gotta ban him. Also, shortly after that, Mango was banned from certain tournaments, and then he made a statement saying, this is what I deserve. You're not gonna see me for a while. I gotta go to rehab. I gotta stop drinking. And then people were kind of taking it from the point of view like, okay, good on you. You deserve to be banned from these places because the shit was, I mean, let's be real. I mean, it was sexual harassment, right? But you need to get help. And I even went on record saying, like, I believe that if he really does the work and he gets the help after a certain amount of time, I don't know, maybe a year or so, I'm not really sure how much time that takes, that he should get a second chance. I'm a firm believer of people that actually do the work get second chances, you know. But apparently now they're kind of focusing on him, but they're also really focusing on Ludwig because a lot of people believe he should take more responsibility. They don't like the way he's really responding, and they believe he should get banned next since he threw the whole thing and apparently instigated it, was providing the, I guess, atmosphere and the fuel for Mango to act that way in the first place. That's what they're saying, all right? So check this out. So it starts with here. Let me see. It starts with Mango actually getting banned on fucking, Twitch. But before that, and a lot of people had something to say about that, but right before we get to that, let's go to Ludwig and some of his responses. There's, WestJett. I'll put his information down below. He made a video just like 9 hours ago titled Ludwig's Response is Pathetic. My God. I only checked out like a couple of minutes of this. I was like, holy shit. His link down below. Let's check out a clip.
Of accountability.
Chat, there are going to be a lot more drama heads today, okay? I won't lie about it. It is what it is. But in this world, we can only control the things we can control. And I can't control my reputation. I can't control the way people feel about me.
Literally earlier this year, this rat was arguing that creators have to control their chat. This dude over here says, you are not responsible for your audience unless you directly tell them to do something. They are their own people. The argument that statistically 1 out of 100,000 people will be unhinged, so you bear no responsibility on the other 99,999 is incredibly weak.
Let's up those numbers!
You know, sound logic. You're responsible for one dude in your Twitch chat rather than your friend right in front of you drinking belligerently at your event. Got it.
Now, I did talk to Mango, actually. I talked to Mango. He reached out. We talked a bit. And I have some thoughts and opinions that I thought about speaking, but he asked of me to not speak on it.
He's really doing you a solid here. Imagine you did the same for him in the beginning. Breaking. Ludwig was spotted outside of Mango's house with a 12-pack.
And I think that's a fair request. He said, I want to take it on the chin. I think the drama is dying out. He's spending time with his kid. He started day 1 of not drinking yesterday, which is dope. And
Pegasus was right in calling you a spineless jellyfish. Again, this is the same dude who's friends with Hassan and has worked with Pirate Software in the past, so what did we expect?
a month or whenever it is. And like, he was messaging me. He was like, Tectone followed me. Who the fuck is Tectone? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not a very genuine pursuit of the people who speak on Mango's behalf.
Ooh, Tectone must have an agenda to run. He followed Mango? Dude, it's not a big fucking deal. He just followed somebody. He didn't DM him or reach out.
It's not a very genuine pursuit.
You want genuine? I don't care about Mango. He's a 33-year-old alcoholic deadbeat father. Nobody cares about Mango, Ludwig. The problem is you. And then he banned me.
Okay, so is he saying that's what he said? He's a 30-year-old deadbeat father. That's taking it too far, man. You don't have to do. I don't, like I said, I don't know this guy WestJett. It sounds like he already feels some type of way against Mango in Ludwig. Apparently he's banned and like, I guess on his server, but I always have a problem with that. Y'all feel the same way? Like, if you have personal beef, that's something you would say. Like, keep it about what he did. I don't know enough about the man to call him, how do any of us really know enough about the man to call him a deadbeat father? And don't get me twisted, I'm not sticking up for Mango here to where I'm like, hey, leave him alone, he shouldn't be banned. No, I'm not saying any of that. You just heard what I said earlier. What I'm saying is, I don't like when we take one thing that somebody does in public and automatically connect all these other dots. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, because of that, he's deadbeat. He's a bad dad. If he's drunk, he's automatic. You know what? Nah, you know, so I don't know. Now, does it look good? No. It doesn't look good at all. But I don't like when we get like that, especially when we talk about people's family. That's just me. Anyway, let's continue.
From his Twitch chat, even though I didn't even type once. Jokes aside, I'm gonna download some empathy real quick from iDubbbz, and obviously all of us don't care personally about Mango, but we do hope that he finds the help he deserves. You know what I mean? We definitely don't want Ludwig and Mango to make another beard tier list, if you know what I'm saying.
Guys, Mango just blew up.
0.47 and died.
Because I am still friends with him. And I banned him from my events because I felt I had to, because my girlfriend and my girlfriend's best friend Maya are in my room at 2 a.m. telling me that they felt really uncomfortable at my own event. So I think a lot of people want me to take accountability. I think I said my piece on it. And I think if people don't f with me, that's totally chill.
And then he banned me from his Twitch chat, even though I didn't even type once. Ludwig literally is a golden retriever, you know? He doesn't care what anybody thinks as long as it's not Hassan's orbit. If they're upset, he's very sad.
You should call Hassan and apologize. Why is Hassan mad? What did I do?
But then again, he is loyal. He's like Hachiko, the dog that waited for 15 years.
I can't control that aspect. I don't need to be liked by people.
That statement would go crazy if your existence didn't contradict it 100%. And why is it so difficult for these man children to take any accountability? You know, just say, my bad. Next event I host, I'll promise to be more responsible around alcohol. It's not that hard.
So here's the thing. So Ludwig originally did say, he was like, I failed. Ultimately, it was my event. He was like, if one person didn't have a good time, to me, that's an L. And then he said what you just heard right here. So initially it was like, okay, he's doing what he can. Mango's his dude. He's trying to take responsibility. But the more you hear, is it just me? The more you hear him talk and the more you see of the footage, you start thinking like, I don't know if it's coming off right. You know what I'm saying? Because it's coming off very like, it is what it is. Y'all can hate, but I'm only doing it. Like he just said, I only banned him because my girl and her best friend were in my room at 10 a.m. telling me they felt uncomfortable. He saw and heard everything already about the humping and the pumping, right? And he didn't say that part. He didn't say any of that part. He said the reason why I banned him was because my girl and her friend were in my ear and they felt uncomfortable, so I had to pull the trigger. So it just comes off almost like you didn't really do it for the right. You didn't do it as fast as you should have did it when you saw what the fuck was happening. Because what makes it look worse is there's footage, he's probably about to show it right here. They had a breathalyzer around the damn party, and he was like promoting, he was encouraging the people, especially Mango in the clips, get drunker. And every time they would be drunk, like every time they would blow at a higher number, he would cheer, yeah, everybody, Mango blew at a 0.32 or some crazy shit. Like, keep going. And then even in the video clip, he tells somebody, yeah, Mango's an alcoholic. He has a problem with alcohol. So I think that's, like I said, the more you learn about it, I think that's why the community is going so ham right now. And they're like, what the fuck did you do? Like, people really should be banning you. At first, honestly, when I saw his initial apology, I didn't really think much of it. I was like, all right, he's doing what he can. Now it's like, oh shit. I mean, it doesn't look great. It doesn't look good the way you're kind of responding to, and you follow it up with, you could like me or not. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I don't. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm just saying it doesn't come off. It doesn't come off fairly well when you keep talking like this. But hey, let's learn more. Let's keep on.
I don't understand necessarily why Twitch banned Mango and not me. I don't even know if I necessarily agree with it. I think it'd be fine if Twitch banned me. But I'm not Twitch. I'm not going to personally ban myself. I don't think it's my responsibility.
You're literally in the protected class of Twitch. They wouldn't ban you. And dude, what the hell? I'd ban me. I'm even following you. You know, that chess boxing stuff by Fadsley is tough.
I think my responsibility is to just like can keep trudging through life because the world keeps spinning and it doesn't stop. And like deal with Mango in a personal way, but it doesn't need to be public, especially if that's his desire, right? Especially if that's what he asks.
I'm a villain, not a monster. You know, this is entirely fair, but you could do all that and take a bit of accountability as well. And that's all people want to see. You know, it's rare for people from your orbit like Hassan or even Pirate Software to take accountability. And, you know, it'd be nice for a change. But then again, I guess you're not responsible for Mango's actions at all, so whatever.
So anyway, that's basically it. And that is what it is, bro. And I actually genuinely have no ill will towards any drama channel who makes videos. Like, I think it is a hustle. It is a career that they have made. They speak on any drama for 20 minutes and they move on.
Yeah, 20 minutes, so Ludwig got straight up lose my mind like player 456.
I think the actual care about the things they talk about factor is very small, but like, that's fine. You know, it's like, it's a hustle. I don't fuck with any of them in the sense that I don't watch them.
And you know what? That's a good thing. I wouldn't expect you to either. You're kind of employed.
When I'm in bed, I watch 3 things, okay?
I watch Destiny's stream, I watch Destiny's YouTube, and I listen to Destiny's podcast.
But I understand drama pays the bills quite well. You make a video 20 minutes every day about some shit you can talk about, get a couple 100,000 views.
Here's the thing, though, what he just said. When he talks about drama, you know, because it's like I've seen drama, you know, break when it came to other things, quite a few other things, and I've seen Ludwig cover it and talk about it. You know, he's the type of channel he can talk about whatever he wants. You know, he has a huge following. But I've seen him do the same thing. You know, now does he make a career out of it? No, he doesn't have to, you know, not at all. But I think what happens is when somebody, and obviously as a news source, and some people could label button check drama at times, I 100% get that. But what I don't like is when it's your turn to be under the microscope, all of a sudden it's like, I hate drama, and everybody is negative, everybody is shit, everybody is this, because honestly, it's news. It's just you now. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, I don't pay attention to these guys, all they do is, we are literally reporting the news. You are a huge figure, something bad happened at your event, we report the news, you know? And unfortunately, when you do this shit for a living, you know, in the sense we're reporting the news, sometimes people love you and sometimes people are like, fuck you forever, because it's their turn in the news, you know, and nobody likes being held accountable for some shit they did. And I'm not talking about every news outlet. You know, because some are, let's be real, not everybody is out for the right reasons or even trying to be out for the right reasons. I'm just saying, not everybody, right? But for those that are out there trying to do some good and be fair and not be biased, you know, and be, you know, non-biased, I just think I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like when people talk like that, especially when we all partake in this shit at times when it comes to the news. Anyway, let's continue.
That's an easy life. That's a good life.
Easy? This is difficult. It's harder than a 9 to 5.
And I thought about, like, maybe I should make a mogul mail and address it all and talk about it. And then I was like, well, who am I doing this for? Ultimately, I'm doing it to change the opinion that other people have of me, as opposed to doing what I think is actually more important, which is just, you know, about whether that's worthwhile.
Say what you want to say about Frogan, but even a broken clock is right twice per day. She was right about Ludwig. Also, I don't even think Ludwig banned me personally. It's probably one of his mods that he shares with Hassan.
As opposed
This guy's really hung up on the fact that Ludwig banned him. So either way, his link down below, definitely check that out. Now, back to the ban on Mango, right? Twitch partner Mango has been unbanned after 1 week and 5 minutes. Mango in 38 seconds. Mango was banned off of Twitch for 1 week. 1 week, right? Technicals right here said, how did Mango get a ban and not Ludwig, who hosted the broadcasted the violation? Hook Gang God says, I got banned for a week over audio. Meanwhile, this fella doing what he did and fake ass Ludwig got out for free. Where is the justice? Continuing on, others say, bro didn't just stand by his friend Mango and got wasted. He celebrated when the BAC hit point 32. Your direct enablement, pushed a man with known alcohol struggles to dangerous limits for your content. When you backlash or when the backlash hit, you throw Mango under the bus, banning him to save face. While publicly claiming I have zero guilt and no accountability, you wanted the views for the chaos, but none of the responsibility for the harm. You enabled, you celebrated, you benefited, and then you ran. Your actions speak volumes about your character. You spineless enabler who needs enemies when Mango has friends, who needs enemies when Mango has friends like you? Damn! This dude Karma went hella hard, man. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even read that whole tweet, you know? Others say, sexually harassing women on camera and you get 1 week ban. Yeah, that's right. And let me go back real quick. When I said I didn't read that whole tweet, I mean before I pressed record on this camera. That was the first time I read that whole thing. Wrapping it up right here saying the amount of Ludwig orbiters commenting here is insane, all being like W Ludwig when he easily took the biggest L so far. This is for not taking accountability and controlling his party safely. You are so fucking stupid. There you have it. How y'all feeling? I honestly did it. This is not a Ludwig hate campaign where I'm like, yeah, let's get him now or anything like that. I'm reading you the news. So if you happen to be in Ludwig's camp or Ludwig yourself, this is me reading what is going on in the community right now. Honestly, I've always been indifferent about Ludwig. I've always been an admirer of his success. I didn't really know too much of his background. I personally thought he came from the Smash community, which he might, and I thought he did some cool shit. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, this guy's really living his best life. That's as much as I've ever thought about him. So for something like this to go on and for it to be at the core of his event with one of his good friends that obviously he's still friends with, which I don't knock him for that either. I think really good friends in the hardest times still should be your friends. They should just do whatever they can to help you get better. If they don't get better and refuse, then that's on you to figure out how you want to have that friend in your life. But either way, I don't knock him for saying any of that. I just think it does look worse when you see a lot of more of the footage and him respond the way he is. Now, I would imagine, if I'm just guessing here, this will eventually all blow over. Ludwig will probably go on to do some more great things, and he'll continue to be entertaining, you know? And that is what it is. Right now, this is simply just the news and something that's pretty huge. Other people saying it's pretty lame because Mango was only banned for a month. How do you feel about that other debate, though, where they're saying Ludwig should also be banned because it was his party? Pretty interesting, but how y'all feeling? Let me know. And that it is, Butt Check family. Definitely let me know how you are feeling. I will see you soon. Matter of fact, I will see you tomorrow. I appreciate the love. As always, it is late, so I gotta get out of here. I don't know what it is, but I know it's about to get better. Love y'all, fella. Peace.
Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe.